Hare Krishna. We'll proceed on our journey with 62nd verse of 2nd chapter from Bhagavad Gita as it is. The Sanskrit verse is as follows. Dhyayato vishayan punsaha sangaste supajayate sanga sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho vijayate. Its translation goes like this. While contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment, lust develops, and from lust, anger arises. This is very important verse from Bhagavad Gita. In the previous verse of 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we learn how Krishna advises that control of the senses is the basic prerequisite for a healthy spiritual growth. Krishna also gives an example of a tortoise. Krishna says how a transcendentalist has full control of his senses. And as Oscar Wilde once said, I can resist everything except temptation. When we are infected by this strong urge of temptation, we do irrational and unthinkable things to satisfy our desire, even when it causes harm to ourselves and others, and divert us from what we seek most. Now, Krishna here in this verse talks scientifically about the steps in which this temptation tries to distract us in our spiritual journey. Someone may ask, why Krishna explained this in so details? And what is the necessity to know these steps of temptation? Basically, Krishna is trying to expose the enemies of spiritual growth, like lust, and how they attack us. If we familiarize ourselves with the lessons on how to avoid this cycle of temptation, we are equipped to progress nicely to attain Krishna consciousness. Yes, there may be so many diversions in this world, but even small doses of spiritual knowledge explained by Krishna go a long way in helping us identify what path to tread. Krishna says, Dhyayato vishayan punsaha, that if someone contemplates on the sense object which have the potential to tempt us or either distract us, it results in sangas tesu pajayate. That is, we may end up being attached to that particular temptation or desire. Suppose we are enamored by a luxury car in an advertisement, and by contemplating on its feature and thoughts of us riding that car, even though we may not have a need to purchase such a vehicle, will end up being attached to it. Krishna says, such attachment will lead later on to development of a strong desire to have that desire fulfilled. Interestingly, even though such desires are fulfilled, they don't give satisfaction. And even they are unfulfilled, they lead to frustration or anger. So in 3 lines, basically, our mind end up telling 3 statements to us. Dhyayato vishayan punsaha. What was that thing? Hey, let me think about that thing. Then, sangas tesu pajayate. It was such a nice thing which I saw. Sangat sanjayate kama. I want that thing at any cost. And finally, kamat krodho vijayate. Why I couldn't have it? Spiritual teachers also explain that the line sangat sanjayate kama is a lesson for all spiritual practitioners that we develop our aspirations according to our association. Good spiritual association will lead to positive spiritual desires, which are favorable to connect with God, Krishna, contrary to the temptations. We'll keep exploring this amazing spiritual knowledge of Bhagavad Gita in our journey ahead. Hare Krishna.